Hello and welcome to the 7th of my 10 15-minute yoga classes for complete beginners. So last time we worked on twists, and today we're going to focus again on some new twists that you haven't done before, and we're also going to revise and review balancing poses. So let's start with tree pose. Remember, with tree pose you can always put a finger on the wall to balance with, or you could use a chair, the back of a chair. So I'll just show you two possibilities here. I've just got a yoga chair here. I've got it on one side. So let's turn the right leg out, and you could keep the right toes on the floor. You remember, put it on your leg low down, or you could bring it higher up. And you could use the back of a chair to balance with if you need it. But eventually you'll dispense with the chair, and you just bring your hands in a prayer. Focus on your breath. Notice how the four corners of the feet connect to the floor. Do you screw up your toes? Can you press the leg back into the foot? These are new cues I haven't given you before. Keep the chest lifted, shoulders moving down. And then bring your foot down. And we'll start on the other side. Tree pose on the other side. Taking the left leg out to the side, bringing the foot up onto the opposite thigh, using the chair for balance if you think you need it. If you don't, you simply bring your hands into a prayer. Remember, press the leg back into the foot. Keep the hips facing forwards, and keep your torso lifted, and the chin always tucked. Some days you'll have a good day for balance. Other days, you'll be very wobbly, like a tree blown in the wind. And then bring the foot down. And we're going to move on to a balancing pose that you haven't seen before. And this one is called the eagle pose. So let's bring the arms up like this and cross the right elbow over the left and bring the palms of the hands together. So you see my palms face sideways, and I can look past my hands into the distance. I've got my right arm over the top of my left, I bend the knees, and I take the left leg over the top of the right. You can keep the left toes on the floor for balance, or pick them up. Some people can wrap the foot around the back of the other leg. It's okay to do any one of those options. And I'm balancing. Eagle pose, Garudasana. Inhale and come up. I'm going to cross the other way. So this time we're going to cross the left arm over the right, bring the hands together, and again the palms face sideways so I can look past them. If you can't get your arms to cross over like this at the elbows, then you can just keep them on the same side. Bend the legs for the second part of the pose, cross the right leg over the left. Keep the toes on the floor, or wrap them around the opposite leg. You can do either. Okay? So often guys can't wrap their legs around because their legs are too chunky for this wrapping action. Breathe. Inhale and come on out. So you've learned a new balancing pose that's a little bit more complex than tree pose. Now we're going to work on a new standing pose that you haven't seen before, and this is called revolving triangle. I'm going to use the wall for this to start with. So once again, I'm going to take a yoga block. I'm going to stand up against the wall, and this time I'm going to stand sideways to the wall. I'm going to put the block out in front of me. Now, my right hip is touching the wall, and I'm going to take my left foot in front. And I'm using the wall to keep my hips square. So I'm not turning the hips. The right hip's touching the wall. The left hip is moving back to remain square. And then I bring the right hand down onto the block and take the left arm up towards the wall. Now, depending on your flexibility, you could have the block lower, you could have the block on the little toe side, or you could just put your hand on the floor on the little toe side. This is a powerful, extraordinarily challenging twist. And then inhale and come up. As you practice that, you'll get better at it, but it takes time. We're going to do the other side. So I'm going to face the other way, using the wall again, right leg in front, left leg behind, and bring the block down on the little toe, big toe, little toe, whichever you choose. Hips are square, left hip on the wall, left arm up to the sky, bringing the left hand down to the right leg. And then take the right arm up to the wall. I'm more flexible on this side, so I can get my left hip, my left hand, my right hand, and my shoulders and back of my head on the wall, and enjoy this powerful twist. And then I'm inhaling and coming up. So I'm going to take you into one more really challenging pose, but with a wall, it makes it accessible. This was the great thing the great yoga teacher, Guru B.K.S. Iyengar discovered, is that props, including a wall, can make difficult poses accessible to even complete beginners. So starting off, we're doing half moon. So I'm going to put my block down at the wall, but this time I'm going to simply face away from the wall. Step my feet out like this, just how you've done in the middle of the room in the past. I turn the left foot out, the back foot in. I take the arms up, and as I come down, I bend the left knee, take my hand onto the block, lean into the wall, and bring the back leg up. So we've done this before, we've done it at the wall, and we've done it away from the wall a couple of times. And it's a great pose for strength and balance. You didn't hear the word flexibility from me. Strength and balance, much more important. Coming down, inhale, come up. Let's do the other side. So I'm going to take the block across to the other side. So this time the right leg turns out, the left foot turns in, arms are up, bend the knee, bring the hand to the block, and step up into half moon on this side. I love this pose. Just enjoy it. The balance, the strength, the opening of the chest. It's a twist. We learned that last week in the last class. And then bend the knee and inhale and come up. Now here's where the challenge comes. Revolving half moon. So I'm going to stay facing the same way. So I'm going to have my right hip facing the wall and put the block out into the room a little bit. So this time I'm going to have the left foot in front, the right foot behind, just like we did before for revolving triangle, but this time the back leg's coming up in the air. So you're familiar with part of it from revolving triangle and part of it from half moon. It's a combination of both. So I'm going to reach down, take the block, bend the front knee, and then come up just like I did for half moon, but this time I'm going to be twisting away. So I'm putting my hand on the floor for my convenience and turning. So my left hand is up to the ceiling. So I'm twisting away from the right. I'm twisting to the left with the left foot on the ground and the right leg raised. Revolving half moon. And then inhale and come up. So a challenging pose in the middle of the room, but done at the wall, it's fairly accessible. And don't forget, you don't have to be a maestro, you don't have to be a back-of-the-book yogi to do something with these poses. Okay, let's do the other side. So I'm going to take the right leg in front, the left leg behind, the left hip's on the wall, and then I'm bringing my left hand down to the block. I've got the block on the little toe side, bend the front knee, and step up. And I can lean into the wall and turn and take my right arm up. So hopefully my back leg is raised and it's straight, the standing leg is straight, and the chest is twisting, twisting, twisting. And then inhale and come up. Okay, we've got time for another twisting pose that I promised you last time, and it's a reclining twist. So I'm going to get you to lay on your back. This is a pose, people like this pose because it's very accessible and everybody can do this. So I'm laying on my back, taking the arms out to the side, and we're going to do it progressively in 3 different versions. So arms are out to the side in the T, legs are bent, feet and knees are together. Okay. Now keeping the feet on the floor, just let your knees drop to the right. Windshield wipers, we call this. Inhale back to center, let them drop to the left. So let's just do this a few times. Back to the right, inhale, exhale to the left, coordinating with the breath. One more time. So we're building a nice, easy, supine twist. Back to the center. This time, bring the feet off the floor and bring the knees up to the chest. Keep your knees and feet together. And exhale, bring the knees across towards the right elbow. See if you can bring the knees high up to the elbow. Stretch that left arm out and press the left shoulder down. Inhale back to center and across to the other side. Extend out to the right arm, bring the knees together up to the left elbow. One more time to both sides. Across to the right elbow. Breathe, inhale, exhale across to the left. Lovely. Inhale back to center and put your feet on the floor. So let's do a third version of this. It's kind of fun. Straighten the right leg and put the left foot on top of the right thigh. Now lift your butt in the air a little bit and shift it over to the left. Now take your right hand across the outer left knee and then pull your left knee across to the right. So you feel this differently to the other versions of this pose. Some people like to look at the left hand while they turn to the side. Okay? And then inhale back to center. Put the left foot on the floor. Bend the right leg, straighten the left leg, and put the right foot on top of the left thigh. Lift your buttocks into the air, move across to the right. Take your left hand across the right knee, extend through the right arm, and take the left knee, pull the right knee, all the way across to the left. And you can look at the right hand if you wish. Moving, moving, moving across. Inhale back to center. Put your feet on the floor, roll to the side, and let's come up to sitting. So I want to revisit briefly a seated forward fold. So for this, I want to take a strap, sit on a block, straighten the right leg, bend the left leg, and drop the left foot out to the side. I'm going to move back slightly so I'm more in the camera line. So my right leg is straight, the left knee drops to the floor. This is called head to knee pose, but I don't want you to think about getting your head to your knee. I want you to think about lengthening the spine. See how I hold the strap? Now put the strap around just below the toes and just sit up tall. Don't think forwards, just think length. Elbows out to the sides like this. Yes, beautiful. We won't spend long here. Just stretching the hamstrings. Come on up. Stretch the right leg. Left leg, drop the right knee out to the side. Put the strap around the left foot. You can take more time on your own, but for now, we're just experiencing this one pose, Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose, and coming forwards. Just feel that stretch through the hamstrings, and then inhale, come on up, and we're ready for Shavasana. So I'm going to get you simply to lay on your back, let your heels come together, the toes drop out to the sides, your arms in a narrow V, and close your eyes. Tuck your chin, lengthen your neck. Very short Shavasana. If you're watching this as a recording, which you will be, you can always carry on and just stay in Shavasana for a little longer. Otherwise, you can bend your knees, roll onto your side, use your top hand to push you up to sitting, cross legs, and we've come to the end of the 7th, can you believe it, the 7th of 10 15-minute classes, yoga classes for complete beginners.